with Facebook telling me to turn the camera when I've already turned the camera, and I was just kind of like slightly irritating. But anyway, here I am in the living room. Shelby would say hi, but she's asleep, and I have to say Woody is roaming around here, and I cannot guarantee that Miss Juju won't show up and cause some chaos. So I'm here with my ball, and I wanted to show you a couple of stretches that I do fairly often. And these are two stretches I definitely suggest to my clients a lot, especially if you're doing lots of exercises that involve the back, the butt, the hamstrings, anything in that posterior chain. It's also great for people who sit a lot, and I'm sure whatever else I want to tell you will come to my head. But it is just two great full body stretches where you're just kind of going to get into position and kind of let the body and gravity figure it out, where you can just kind of let the body elongate, especially in the spine and the hips area, and hopefully in the shoulder area too. I don't know how your body is going to respond, but my body loves these, and most of the people I show these to, their body loves them as well. So you just need a ball. If you don't have a ball, I want you to get like 3 or 4 pillows, because I want a big stack about yay high, so that you only have to kind of bend over a little bit, unless you're super flexible and can literally like forehead to your knees. I don't know what that's like, but if you can, high five to you. So I will show you stretch number 1, which I do a lot when my back is just killing me and like I just need some relief. And that happens to be this morning, funny enough. So I would have you sit on the floor, and I want your legs in this really wide diamond position, not feet together, but feet, nice and wide. So like maybe on either edge of your mat. And then you're just going to take this ball. This is where the "have you hugged your ball lately" came in. And I just want you to kind of grab your ball and give it a big hug. And you're just going to sit here. And as you're sitting here, things are just going to start to elongate and stretch and hopefully feel a little better. And how you're going to make that work is you are going to breathe. Big, big, big deep breaths. And usually if I'm with my clients, I tell them I really want to hear that breath. So you would take a big deep breath in, blow it out. And the reason I want you to really think about breathing is you kind of have to focus on that. So it kind of clears your mind, especially if you have lots of things in your head that are making you anxious or stressed out. I feel that's a lot of us currently. So please take a break if you're working from home, or you need a moment and you just need the background noise to go away. Really breathe in, breathe out, and count your breaths. If you're not flexible, I would say start with 1 minute, and that's probably 10 big deep breaths, but if you can make it to 25 deep breaths, even better. If it feels fantastic, try to go to 50. And that's closer to 3 minutes. But I would say about 5 minutes per stretch if you have that kind of patience and attention span. But yeah, so stretch number 1 is you're just going to flop yourself on the ball, put your forehead on the ball if it feels good, push your ball out a little bit if you need a little more stretching. And kind of as you're sitting here doing this stretch, which really is you're just sitting on the floor, kind of reaching around, opening the legs, and leaning forward. As your body starts to stretch a little bit, you can kind of push your ball out a little bit and really let those stretches really work in that lower back and hip area. And I wanted to take a moment here and tell you why I call this the F.L.O.P method. because it's a word that I use a lot with my clients, especially doing stabilization and endurance exercises, because I tell them I want you to flop in between each repetition so that you can reactivate those muscles and you get a better repetition every time. Because if you don't kind of let everything relax, you may just end up having bad form. So if you have to like reactivate those muscles every time, you'll have better form, you'll have a better workout, you'll get better results. But again, I call it the flop because I'll literally be like, lay over on your ball and just flop and hang out there for a few minutes. So again, this is stretch number 1 I'm going to show you today, and it feels really fantastic. And again, you can move your feet and legs around to where it feels better, but just hang out here and breathe. And if it feels better to do this, do that. If it feels better to do this, then do that. I, for the most part, do not know your body, and you know your body better than I do. So you do what feels best for you, sorry. And my right side is very stiff and very sore most of the time. So I do lots of stretches where I'm really reaching this arm out and really trying to create as much length between the back of my neck and through my glutes. It feels pretty good to me. All right. I want to go to stretch number 2, and it is, hi Miss Juju. You literally are just flopped over on the ball. And this can be kind of fun as long as you don't get too crazy with it, because you might go flying off the ball. Because, you know, I may have done that a time or two as I've really gotten into the stretch and really started to feel great and really started to enjoy it. But you're just going to bring kind of ball basically to your hips or to your stomach. And you're going to start off by just kind of leaning forward on the ball. Now, for some people, that's maybe as far as you can go, depending on what's up with your body. And this feels pretty good too. So you could start with a minute like this, just kind of flopped over on the ball, knees on the floor. And I always say forehead towards the floor. If you really need to stretch your neck, then you can turn to one side, try to put your ear on the ball, turn to the other side, try to put your ear on the ball. And that is kind of a good neck stretch. But then, so you've done this for a minute, if it feels good, and then you're going to come further forward. And again, if you can, don't push yourself if you're not familiar with the ball and not used to having to balance yourself on something that's floppy, something that's going to bounce a little bit and is unstable. So pillows might work better for some of you. Again, you're just going to push yourself forward. And I always say start with knees bent and elbows on the floor. Drop your head. And that automatically feels fantastic. Feels fantastic for me. And it'll feel fantastic for most of you, especially if you're sitting a lot. If you're kind of stuck in a chair, you're not used to sitting in for hours doing work from home. So knees off the floor, elbows onto the floor, and you're just kind of flop yourself over on the ball and hang out there. So, Miss Juju, do not go up there and disturb my camera. Hold on, let's see what the cat's gonna do. Juju, kitty cat. She might knock my camera over. We'll see. Okay, Miss Juju, good kitty. So again, flop yourself on the ball and hang out there. Now, this is where it can get a little bit more interesting, where you can kind of roll yourself back and forth from your elbows back to your knees, and that should feel pretty good. But again, if you don't feel stable, don't get too happy with the rolling around. The other thing you can do is kind of shift your hips side to side. Again, what feels good for you. You have to determine that, because I'm not in your living room or gym or wherever you were doing this. So make good choices based on how your body feels as you're on top of this ball. And again, you can start here where you're just kind of partially on the ball and then all the way on the ball, and hold it there. 10 breaths to start. If you're not flexible or you're really stiff and sore and it doesn't feel great, and then work your way up to 25, and then work your way up to 50. And this is something you can do every single day, especially great at the end of the day. Can help you sleep better if you lay in bed and you just don't feel like relaxed. So again, you can roll yourself forward all the way back to the knees. Keep those arms stretched out. That feels really good to me. It may feel really good to you. Again, forward and backwards to the knees. Maybe whenever I do this full video series, which will be about 5 or 6 videos, of just flopping on the ball. And oh, the reason why it's called flop is I call this functional lying on props. So I'm pretty proud of that, but it's something I've been using for years and years, probably like 15 years at this point. It makes a big difference for me as far as my back is concerned, to especially get me all loosened up if I wake up stiff and sore in the morning. So again, you can just hang out here or hang out here. You can even go really far forward, legs straight, and hang out there. Kind of play around with it and see what works best for you. Juju's like, the news isn't on currently. But I'll go back to stretch number 1 and try to finish this up. Miss Kitty Cat, do not jump on the dog, okay? I know, Mr. Woods, it's a silly cat. Where you are just gonna, nice big wide diamond legs, and hug your ball for a few moments. And you can roll side to side. And you can kind of roll kind of back and forth. But it's more just to get the body moving, loosened up, and I really want you to focus on your breathing. Big deep breath in, and count your breath when you blow it out. And I just want you to think about big deep breath in for about 2 to 3 seconds. Try to blow it out for at least that long, if not 5 seconds. I'm not trying to tell you to do too many things. You'll kind of figure out what works best for you, but the big deep breath in and big deep breath out and counting your breath will actually help clear your mind, and it will actually make the stretches that much better. If you have questions, please comment down below, and comment down below, and I'm telling you, it's going to come to me. And I will be posting this video series on this page, my normal Facebook page, and I'll send you a link so you can subscribe to my channel, or at least a link where you can access the videos. And I hope that you remember to get up every hour or 2, do a little something to move around as you're sitting around or working at home or whatever you are doing, and breathe, big deep breaths, try to clear your mind, try to de-stress as much as you can, and I always say stay hydrated, and now especially please wash your hands often. All right, take care. I will see you soon.